Honored guests, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, it is my deep honor to welcome you to the Montreux Palace. I would kindly ask all of us, believe it or not, but I'm not going to ask you to switch off your mobile phones, but I'm kindly asking you to please put it on silent. And we would kindly ask you throughout the presentation of Monsieur Hongler to please use Twitter and tweet handsomely some of the key messages that you take from this session by using the hashtag EU Markus Hongler. So let us start then, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sure you are equally as curious to hear what we will hear from Mr. Markus Hongler. So it is my pleasure to invite on your behalf our President, Dr. Dirk Rein, to please introduce our honored guest. Thank you.
Dear representatives of the local authorities, the mayor of Mobilière, and other guests from the academic world, dear students from all the continents, I have the privilege to introduce you today a CEO. And Paul Bulke mentioned once what the meaning is of a CEO, Chief Everything Officer, instead of Chief Executive Officer. A man with a brilliant career. If you read the newspapers and the magazines, each year Bilan makes a ranking, Bilanz in Swiss Germany, of the best and the most important CEOs of Switzerland. And Markus is always mentioned in it, interviewed in the top 15 bankers of Switzerland this year also. So for me it's quite and I will repeat the word of Jonans, a privilege to have this man, which is hardworking, which has values, which respects the economy, which have all the words like sustainability in his company, to introduce him to you. It's an honor for us this year to have, after Brabeck, Bulke, and some other key people, Markus Hongler, the CEO of La Mobilière, the Mobilire, at EU Business School. Thank you. The floor is to you, Markus.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the company I'm in charge. It's the way how we present ourselves. This is the way when I talk to people about La Mobilière, how I introduce my speech. Thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor to be invited to Montreux. And Dirk asked me to present you some thoughts about the Swiss insurance market and obviously also to talk about the company I lead. I have been in charge for the last 7 years, La Mobilière. The Swiss insurance industry is important to our country. We have very strong financial results, even if the financial market conditions are difficult. And with these financial results, we contribute to the stability of Switzerland. And this success is no coincidence. The recent history, if you look back the last 10 to 20 years, and this is what I was in as a CEO of different businesses, if you look back, you see that this industry went through fundamental change. Some passwords: liberalization, unbelievable strong development in technology, a renewed focus on core businesses, and all this has paid out in a huge efficiency gain and productivity gain. And thanks to this structural transformation, the industry survived the year 2008. Most of you, when I look into this room, cannot imagine how tough it was 10 years ago when we went through the financial crisis. And the Swiss insurance industry did particularly well and has become a very, very strong contributor to the overall economy of Switzerland. To give you a feeling, the financial service industry is about 10% of the overall economy of Switzerland, and the insurance industry makes about half of it. Today, our contribution is even bigger than the one of the banks. And this is surprising, because traditionally the banks have become much more important. They lost this position of profitability over the last years. Swiss insurers are also very important employers. We have about 120,000 employees globally, of which about 50,000 are working in Switzerland. So you can see that we are a critical part of Switzerland, representing about 5% of the overall added value produced in this country. Now, it doesn't mean that we have no challenges. No, the opposite is the reality. Let me summarize some of the challenges we have. In the short term, and I think this is the biggest challenge we are all facing, is the low interest rate environment. Of course, we have reserves, but these reserves, every year we are longer in this environment, these reserves become smaller. They help us to mitigate the impact, but it's now the 5th year we have interest rates which are very low, and particularly for the life business, this is a huge challenge. And when I speak about the life business, it's a combination. It's not only the income which is missing from our investments, it is also an increase in life expectancy, which we never know where it will end. But I can tell you, you have a good chance to become 100 years or even older, which was 20, 30 years ago, something which maybe 5 or 10 persons per year in this country achieved. Especially the life business is in a very strong transformation. And those of you who love financial creativity have now the possibility to reshape the current life business. And I think it is the most exciting time this business has ever been. And as a consequence of this demographic change, we are also facing a shortage in qualified employees, in qualified staff. Today we have about 1,200 jobs which are open in the insurance business in Switzerland, which if you put it in relation to 50,000 is quite a big number. I have been now more than 40 years in this business, and it's one of the industries which has the most elements of uncertainty. We depend on market conditions, financial market conditions, socioeconomic factors, and obviously also risk factors like weather, which we still cannot influence. As you now can imagine, the insurance business truly never gets boring. And if you like the uncertainty, have a closer look at this industry. It might be interesting for your own career. On a more general level, the last decade has seen frenetic developments in technology. And this will have an impact on how we sell insurance policies in the future, and even more importantly, it changes our customers' expectation on how to reach us. I speak about communication. Last but not least, digital process is affecting the way we work and the way we communicate. And this requires new skills and a change of mindset. And each and every company, not only in the insurance industry, but in general, has to do the homework to think about the future and to think about how their business will be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So it's a very interesting field for newcomers like you. Now let me switch to Mobilière, the company I love so much. I show you now a short video clip on how we communicate to the market that we are the best insurance company between North Cap and Sicily.
Cher Mobilière, alors que je montais une étagère comme un pro dans mon nouvel appartement, j'ai aussi pu faire directement connaissance avec mes nouveaux voisins.
Quoi qu'il arrive, nous vous aidons rapidement et simplement.
So this is how we make our brand popular. And I assume you also know the claim sketches. This is a publicity campaign which is older than 20 years. You need the courage to communicate over more than 20 years the same way. Let me give you some more insights about the company I have been in charge for now more than 7 years. I have a very strong management belief. It is very difficult to be different, but even more difficult it is being interchangeable and therefore easily replaceable. So, what makes us different? What makes Mobilière unique? First of all, we are the oldest private insurance company in Switzerland. A real startup in 1826, so 192 years ago. And we started very unluckily because we were bankrupt within the first 6 months. But no reason to give up. We tried again, and the second time we were more successful, and we quickly built up a network of agencies throughout Switzerland. And over the course of its long history, Mobilière has often done things differently and continues to do it today. First of all, we only operate in Switzerland and Liechtenstein. 8 million potential customers. This focus limits costs for expensive and complicated governance. We have only one regulator, one currency, one legal environment, still 3 languages. And all this frees up resources for market management and innovation. And the earnings we generate, we reinvest in these 2 countries. And our 80 general agencies guarantee proximity to our customers because we operate, or they operate, as independent SMEs, and these agencies are firmly ensured in their respective regions. At Mobilière, and I think here we are unique, decision power remains with our general agencies. And if I say decision power, it is for underwriting and claims management. Whether floods or having rainfalls, don't worry, we are close to you. And our very tense network was built up over these last 192 years, and I'm strongly believing that it is impossible to build it up today from scratch. And to showcase to you what I mean with customer proximity, I have brought a video clip with me which shows very nicely how close we are to our customers when they need us.
Es ist eine echte Überraschung, so wie ich es in meinem Leben noch nie erlebt habe. Es gibt Menschen, die wie der Feuerwehrkommandant, der seit 45 Jahren so etwas nicht erlebt hat. Ich bin auch konsterniert, auch ein bisschen frustriert, was man hier eigentlich so ein Unwetter kann, im Grunde genommen fertig bringen. Diesbezüglich ist es gut, wenn man gute Partner hat, Menschen, die einem umstehen, wie die Firma jetzt Mobilière, die uns einfach im Prinzip jetzt heute am Morgen auf der Seite steht und immer wieder einfach uns ein bisschen unterstützt, moralisch. Und das ist das, was man auch ein bisschen braucht in diesen Momenten, die sehr schwierig sind.
Es ist gewaltig, was das Wasser alles kann ausmachen kann, die Kraft, die das Wasser hat. Vor allem ist es jetzt darum gegangen, dass wir den Kunden sofort helfen können, dass wir sie unterstützen können mit Sanierungsfirmen und so weiter und so fort.
Wir haben so einen WhatsApp-Chat von der Agentur, wo alle Mitarbeiter drauf sind. Und da hat es sofort angefangen, sind Fotos vom ganzen Gebiet. Hier, wir in der Region wohnen, habe ich so den Überblick gehabt, wo es überall hat, Überschwemmungen gegeben hat. Das war vor dem Wald Zofingen-Nürkheim auf dieser Nacht. Und dann hat sofort ein Mitarbeiter, Tamara, plötzlich geschrieben, komm, wir gehen morgen arbeiten. Das hat mich extrem gefreut, die Solidarität vom Team. Und dann haben wir entschieden, dass wir heute die Agentur auftun, vom 9 Uhr bis zum Mittag um 12 Uhr. Wir haben das so kommuniziert über Facebook. So hat sich das ergeben. 14 Leute sind arbeiten. Das hat mich mega gefreut. Wir konnten den Kunden helfen, so gut es ist gegangen. Und morgen um 7:30 geht es weiter.
This happened on a Saturday night, and our employees decided on their own to open the agency on Sunday morning. And of course, it doesn't help you to open the agency, you have to communicate it to your customers. They made it through Facebook, and next day we had more than 2,000 claims we could open in our computer system and starting helping our customers. By the way, this Facebook clip was seen by 40,000 people from Sunday or Saturday night 9 o'clock till Sunday 12 o'clock. I think this is a very good example on how customer orientation is translated into a real help for customers. Second point I would like to make, which makes us different, we are still a cooperative or a mutual. In the 90s of last century, cooperatives were considered to be antiquated, and most of them were reorganized and converted into stock companies. However, La Mobilière strongly believed that the cooperative structure was the right solution for insurance providers, and we still believe it is true today. A cooperative structure provides ample freedom and independency. It also entails a sense of responsibility, and we are exclusively there for our customers, and we can plan the future in a very long term. Leading a cooperative company, and now I speak as the CEO of this company, means really taking a long-term view rather than focusing on short-term profit. And this allows us to share our success with our customers. And every year we give back part of the profit we make to our customers, and here is the publicity we use to communicate to the audience that they get money back from us.
Grâce à la coopérative, nos clients profitent cette année aussi d'une participation au résultat de 155 millions. Mais seulement nos clients.
So we give back about 170, 180 million of our profit every year. First you have to make the profit, then you can give it back. It's about 30 to 40% of the profit of the company. The rest we need to finance our growth. Today we are the market leader in the P&C business. So P&C means the non-life business. We are the largest term life insurer and the largest SME insurer of the country. And we are by far the fastest growing insurance company of Switzerland. And I think this is the result of 5,000 highly motivated employees. Now, no fun without challenges. What do we have on our agenda? The traditional form of selling insurance policies is still in a good shape. If not, we wouldn't be so fast growing. In other words, our agents are successful. Success is always a very dangerous thing. Maybe some of us would think things are working well the way they always have. So why change? This mindset is dangerous. And I believe when you are successful, it is the right time to make sure that you are ready for the future. How say the American, repair your roof when the sun shines. As a mutual company, we are not under pressure from shareholders or analysts or investors or rating agencies. And as a purely national company, we don't have the same experiences as other markets do. So sometimes I wake up at night and ask myself, do we become too complacent? I don't hope so. Because when you're successful today, you have the necessary capital, the necessary money to invest into the future and to make the necessary steps towards the future. And we are in a very, very fast changing world today. And now I come to the word which probably you all hear daily. It is the digitalization of our business that has become the key management priority. And there are three aspects I would like to share with you. Firstly, the impact on customer relation. And this in connection with the fundamental question, where and how will we be earning our money in a digitalized world? I use some keywords. Autonomous driving cars. What the hell do we insure when the car drives on their own? Internet of Things, pay as you drive, or ecosystems. Secondly, the impact on products, services, and how we measure the success of these products. I'm thinking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics. And last but not least, the impact on business processes and, as a consequence, on our working environment and the employee motivation. Look, it's not up to me, a veteran of the industry, to talk to you youngsters about digitalization. You know much better than me. But what I can do is to offer young people, young, bright people, an attractive working environment where they can shape the future of La Mobilière. In other words, I invite people to think outside of the box. I'm ready to invest in technology and in an environment that rewards innovation and progress. And now let me move to you, dear friends. What skills do I expect from new talent? In a nutshell, what we wanted to provide our customers are good products, good services to a decent price. It doesn't seem to be so difficult. However, new technology and a fast-changing environment requires us to stay very flexible and react swiftly by trying out new approaches and thinking outside the box. always bearing customers' interests in mind and keeping our employees closely involved in the process. We need this balance between tradition and innovation. And as the CEO of the company, I often ask myself, which skills do we need to tackle upcoming challenges to be successful also in the years to come? An agile mindset? Yes, of course. Entrepreneurial thinking? For sure. But our employees not only need to be fast and agile, most importantly, they have to think and to act customer-oriented. And I'm very sorry, my industry is not particularly good in thinking in the eyes of the customer. And my message to you today is remain curious. Be open to jump into new and unknown experiences. And most importantly, act with integrity. You won't destroy your career with a failed project or a customer you lose, but you can do it by being dishonest. And on our side, we are responsible to give you everything you need to succeed. For example, a modern working environment. And what does mean a modern working environment? I have brought 2 video clips with me, one about the offices we have in Bern, the other one about the offices which just will open in March in Nyon.
Work at Mobi. Cela signifie faire tomber tous les murs. Pouvoir se voir et s'entendre. 2000 mètres carrés pour 200 collaborateurs. Des personnes qui travaillent ensemble. Souvent en équipe, parfois seul. Parfois comme ça, parfois autrement. On choisit sa place en fonction de son travail. Une nouvelle place tous les jours, voire dans la même journée. Les groupes, quelle que soit leur taille, trouvent des endroits adaptés pour se réunir. Ouverts, transparents, inspirants. C'est le nouvel environnement de travail de la Mobilière. La pause café ne se prend plus forcément tous les jours à la même heure. On dit adieu au papier, dans la mesure du possible. Mais on n'est pas encore prêt de renoncer aux livres. Pour participer à des réunions, en tout cas celles où l'on doit s'asseoir, on se rend dans des salles vitrées et équipées des dernières technologies. Work at Mobi, un environnement de travail pour les personnes curieuses, des personnes avides de nouveautés. Work at Mobi, pour trouver des solutions aux problèmes de demain.
We made this video clip about 2 or 3 weeks ago on March 1. We moved into this building When I look at it, I'm still not sure if they have tables to start. But you see how different these offices look compared to what we had in the past. And I was among the first ones to move in this new smart working area. I don't have anymore a single office. As any other employee, I'm looking for a desk when I come to work. On my iPhone, I have an app, and I then know where my assistant is in the building. I can find her, mostly. And then we work together, and all the meetings are in these very different meeting rooms we have. There is no CEO office left, no CEO, chairman, or anything meeting room. Everything is for everybody, and paper completely disappeared. I can tell you paths are shorter, and the contact has become easier and more personal. As I mentioned, paper disappeared, and today it is much easier to meet people. In the end of this year, about half of our employees will work in an environment like this, in Nyon, in Bern, and in Zurich. The other half, or 2,500 people, work on the general agencies, where each general agent is free how to organize him or herself. To move from an academic world, as you are, to the corporate world is a big step. And it is crucial where you spend your first few years of your professional life and where you gained your first work experiences. Challenge yourself, and more importantly, when you start your career, challenge your boss. Be a little bit of a troublemaker, not just a yes man or a yes woman. Push for the best solution in the eyes of the customer. And choose a job, and I think this is the most important message I have for you today. Choose a job you love. You be proud, or you think that you can become proud of, as I am very proud about the business I am in. My job as CEO is to make sure that my employees can do their job in the best possible way, that they look like working for our customers, that they love it, that they are in a bad mood when they come to the office in the morning, but that they love the job, because the customers will feel if you are happy or not. And I do so by offering modern workplaces and flexible working hours and an attractive career path which offers also a healthy work-life balance. But also, à la Mobilière, we have to work. You have to work hard. There is no free lunch. You have to fight every day for your success. This is also reality in my company. Once you are done with your studies, and if you're interested in the insurance sectors, let me know. We offer a wide range of training opportunities, and you see here my email address. You can write to me directly when you look for one of our trainee programs for master graduates or bachelors. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Let me finish with a word of thanks to Mr. Grapp. Thank you for having your business in the sense of having your insurance policies with La Mobilière. But even more importantly, thank you for giving EU students such successful options for the future. And now I'm very happy to take your questions. Thank you very much. So who is the icebreaker? Yeah.
Well, hello and good afternoon. So In the beginning, you mentioned that you were national and that you did it only because of the regulations. However, isn't international development another great opportunity of growth, not necessarily to an expansion towards another region, but trying to move towards the close regions such as Germany or so?
Thank you for the question. Obviously, it's always an important strategic question if you want to go abroad or not. I tell you a very nice story of the history of Mobilière. We are obviously the largest household insurer of the country, and in 1862 there was a big fire in the canton of Glarus, and at that time we had no reinsurers in the country, and we were the insurer of 60% of all the buildings which burned down. So Mobilière needed a bailout of the state of Switzerland to survive because we had not enough protection. That means when you're only active in one country, you are really exposed to if something goes wrong, that it goes really wrong. We had no diversification in geography. We still do not have. Reinsurance for us is a possibility to mitigate the fact that we are only active in this country. I think today Mobilière is not ready and not prepared to go abroad. If you run a business on a global scale, you need size. You cannot be a small provider of 1 or 2% in a market. You need to be big. And if I look to the global companies, there are very few who have really achieved to be successful. You can mention it. In Switzerland, it is Zurich. In France, it is AXA. In Germany, it is Allianz. Then you have in the United States, AIG. You have some Americans who are very strong in Latin America, but not in Europe. So you have a handful of companies who are really global. All the others who are a little bit global or a little bit international usually suffer because the complexity of this business is too high. So I prefer to remain in Switzerland and to be a first-class provider in Switzerland, but the missing diversification on the business I resolve through reinsurance. Now, having said this, we have a network of cooperative insurers in Europe. We are 8 of us, usually in every country a market leader, and we have a very, very close relationship, which allows, for example, to our trainees to work in different markets, not only in Switzerland, but to go around Europe and to see how business is in Spain, in France, or in the Nordic countries, or in Germany. I personally have done my career really international. I have worked in many countries. It was very rich to have the opportunity to see how business is similar, but not equal from country to country, and I would recommend every one of you that if you have the chance to go abroad, do it, and you show it already by being here in this university that you are truly global. I can only congratulate you to this. I think this is necessary also for the future, that you are open-minded and curious to see how other cultures resolve the same question. Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much for this wonderful ideas that you shared with us and the challenges, etc. You also touched upon the marketing, and I personally believe that Cher Mobilière is one of the best commercials on the market. It almost became like a meme for the whole country. I hear it from everywhere. It's amazing, really. Did you envision it to be so successful in the beginning? Did you think that it would become so popular in all of the country? And how do you produce these kind of ideas?
It's an ongoing challenge. You know, what is behind this message? Behind the message is, and I think there we are really different to all other insurance companies. If you look to the TV spots of the other insurers, they try to tell you we help to avoid risk, and we help to avoid claims. We say, it happens, but we are there for you. And this is the difference. I think life is simply too complicated that you can say you can avoid every risk, and it's in the eyes of an insurance company, it's even stupid if you have no claims. There's no reason why we should be in business. I need claims. Seems to be a little bit stupid if an insurer tells this, but if I had no claims, I can go home, play golf all day, but then I have no salary. So we are in the business because maybe, sorry for the word, but shit happens. So we are in the business that we can help. And Share Mobilière is the message. If you have a problem, do not hesitate. Contact us. We help you. And this makes us, I think, in the eyes of the customer, very honest. And this is what we believe, that we have to be ready. And I have the aspiration that the customer calls to the Mobilière and not to somebody else when he or she needs help. That's a really very strong aspiration we have. And this publicity has been so strong. And believe me, when I was announced as the new CEO of Mobilière, all the publicity agencies came to see me and told me, "Now, it's 15 years old, you have to change it." And they showed me numbers that we are out of business tomorrow if I don't change it. And I told them, look, I believe it's a very strong story. We continue with it, and I can tell you we will continue also in the near future. But we track it. We track it on a monthly basis, and if we see that something loses its attractiveness, then we would probably start thinking about changing it. And the other questions, how we do it, well, we have a good agency, and I think we already changed 3 times the agency, so you have also to make sure that they work for you, and but they remain creative.
Yeah, I heard you made mention of the student training, and I have 2 questions concerning that. Concerning the training, how long does it last? And the second question is, do you pay students during the training?
Could you say it again, the second part?
Okay. I heard you made mention of the student training, and I have 2 questions to ask concerning the training. First of all, how long does the training last? The second question is, during the training, do you pay the students? Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know the months exactly, but I would say you need 2 to 3 years to understand this business. And I think our trainee programs are 18 months, more or less. Is this the question you asked me? Okay, 18 months. When you are 18 months with us, we give you, if you have done well, a job. But to really learn insurance is something you need 2 to 3 years to get into this business. And the most difficult thing of it is to sell insurance. And we had over lunch, Dirk and I, we spoke about the challenges we had at the beginning on our career when you have to stand up and to find customers. I mean, this is the toughest thing. I still remember when I had to phone up cold contacts where you have nothing between you and the potential customer, and you have to convince this potential customer to become a customer. This is something you can learn, and this needs time. And you also have to learn then to not be successful, because not every contact you look for is successful. Today, I would say, Dirk, 40% is a good number. So if you do 10 calls and you make 4 of 10, you're good. So then you're bright. But that means also that you have 6 times a no. So to deal with this no at the beginning is very tough. And I think this is much more difficult to learn than, for example, to go into the finance department or to go into the in a mathematic world where you don't have this disappointment to deteriorate. But I learned in the sales department most of my career.
So you talked a lot about the success of the company, and I would like to hear some stories about your personal success. How did you grow? How did you start? And
thank you. I'm happy that you don't ask me, tell me about your failures. I did the first 5 years of my career at La Mobilière. I started with 16 as an apprenti in the agency of Lucerne and learned customer contact and what I just described before, selling insurance policies. I went then to Geneva to learn French, and I quickly started to learn about reinsurance and had then the possibility to go to the UK and from there to Spain, where I met with my wife. And from 82 to 86, I worked in Barcelona. It was an amazing time. For example, in Switzerland, there were no brokers active, did not exist at the time. From Spain, I came back and worked for Latin America. And to give you an example on how tough selling is, I remember I got the job to find a potential company to buy in Chile. And I asked my boss, do you have an idea which company we could buy? And he told me, yeah, here's the list. That was the list of the 10 biggest companies in Chile, and that was all. And then you go there and you think about on how you make your contact, what you tell to the investment bank that you would like to buy a company, and why the hell they should sell it to you and not to somebody else, or why they should sell it. So that was a very attractive, interesting time when I was on my own responsible during weeks to connect with the market. Then I came back to Switzerland, and very young I had the chance to get into the executive committee of an insurance company. I was then in charge of the direct business. I founded the first internet bank in Switzerland. And if you look to my career, I was always curious about things which I did not know. So I was never interested in businesses which were producing profit. I was interested in businesses either to repair it or not to fix it, but to make it a business for the future. And only when I was over 50, I got the first time in my life a real business, a running business which produced huge benefits, and I had to manage that it continues to produce this business. So my message to you is, when you have a chance to work in innovation, when you have a chance to work in new businesses or in building up a new market, this is interesting. There you learn about your future. And there you also learn that you can fail. When you have a business which produces a lot of profit, you're not allowed to fail. When you get the balance sheet of some billions and you have to do your 200 or 300 millions of profit every year, you cannot go to your shareholder and tell them, this year, I'm sorry, did not fly, let's try next year. Forget it, you will not survive. But if you have a business which does not exit, it doesn't really matter if it flies in 12 months or 18 months. And if you fail, you can restart. So be curious and use the freedom you have at the beginning of your career to do things which you cannot do later in your career. Today I have a balance sheet of 20 billion. We do about 400 to 500 million profit every year. If I one year have maybe only 200, I probably would still survive. But the board would have already quite a close look at it, why the hell and what we should do. If you fail another year, then I have a new CEO. So you have much less freedom of being so creative as it was at the beginning of my career. Coming back to the example in Chile, the first time I flew back and I had simply no contact. Nobody wanted to see me. But 6 months later, I got the call, come back, we would like to talk to you. So you need also to have the time when you are at the beginning of your career, that success can be 12 months later or 18 months later. This you cannot do when you run the business of a profitable book today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hongler. May I kindly request from you, because we have a number of students who would still like to ask you some questions, if we may please ask you afterwards, if you could be available for a couple of more minutes to answer some of the questions.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to extend the warmest of thank you to Mr. Hongler.